Hello and welcome to the Soulful Mamas podcast. You're with your host Maria. And well, I did promise you that this week I'd be talking about the spring equinox, and I still am going to, but I did say that it needs its own episode all to itself. And I'm going to do that probably in the next few days. And today I'm just briefly going to talk about the current full moon and eclipse that we're in today, right now. Honestly, every conversation I've had over the last probably week, but especially the last few days, has all been about two things: either really heightened intuition and awareness, or big emotions, lots of overwhelm, lots of tears, lots of what is going on type feelings. And I thought, gosh, it's just so it's the time, the energy soup that we're in right now. So I thought I would do a little episode on this. And again, I'm not an astrologer. I'm just extremely curious, and I love all these things. And you know what? You know very much I love the moon. So this is my own learnings and things I've acquired along the way, and people that I listen to, and I kind of gather all of that and create my own interpretation of it. So if it lands for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, also wonderful. That's fine. But it may. So we've got right now, today, so in New Zealand, it's Wednesday, the 18th of September, and we have the full moon in Pisces, which happens to be a super full moon, which means the moon is closer to the earth, so that power and pull is stronger. We're feeling it more so. And we also have, on top of that, a lunar eclipse, and it's a partial lunar eclipse, meaning only part of the moon will be in the earth's shadow. But due to it being a super full moon, it is going to be amplified and feel quite strong, quite potent. So that increases, the pull of the tides and the waters within our body, which relates to our emotional fields. And of course, in Pisces as well, which is a water sign, and so things can feel very heightened. My daughter is Pisces, and interestingly, she has been quite emotional in the lead up to this full moon. But also, she's had some really profound and prophetic dreams and awarenesses. Awarenesses, is that a word? It's not. Anyway, it's like she knows things are going to happen before they happen, and she keeps telling me, and I said, yeah, isn't it amazing when you trust your intuition? So her inner guidance, her inner wisdom is fully tapped on, turned on full right now, and she is trusting it. And I try really hard to not dampen this down for my children. I never have. Any of their gifts or intuitive hits that they get, I help try and guide them, support them with it, rather than dismiss it. And so it's great. I mean, she comes to me and says, I know what they're going to say, and I know who's going to be on the phone when the phone rings, or I know what the teacher's going to say. And yeah, it's really gaining momentum for her. So yeah, it's quite, and then I also normalize it, and I said, isn't it wonderful? This is just you trusting that inner voice of yours, because it always knows, and it will never steer you wrong when you're truly hearing and feeling and experiencing, that, your intuition connected to her higher self. And I think that's pretty important for a 12-year-old girl to be able to know that and discern, hold her own sacred yes or sacred no of any situation as she navigates the teenage years and beyond. So that, I'm really trying to nurture that for her. So that for her right now is quite strong, and she's exhausted at the same time because I don't think she's sleeping that well. She's been kept up with all of her thoughts and everything, but at the same time it's exciting. So I know for her, and she knows herself, that she needs to look after herself a bit more and work on really winding down even sooner to go to bed. She needs to drink more water, and she even is that sensitive at the moment that she can tell the difference between, well, to be fair, it's not that difficult. We have rainwater at our home, and at school they just have the tap water. So she's now at a point where if she forgets to take in extra water from home to school, she will just be thirsty until she gets home because she can't stand the tap water. So she just heightened sensitivity to whatever else is in there, and she's needing that really clear, clean, fresh water to support her body system, which is pretty cool. We've got the moon in Pisces and the sun is in Virgo, and so these two are at opposites right now. So Virgo is bringing in the get things done, organized, find the beauty in the mundane activities, the day-to-day life. And Virgo, earth priestess, obviously earth related, connected to the earth, grounded. So there's these two energies at play as well. So with the Virgo energy, we're trying to work on releasing perfection, and we, rather than getting so caught up in the detail, which is very Virgo like, we can, and therefore become very overly critical, we can move through that and not get stuck on those things, but still hold the practical, but trust that progression and the momentum in the process. Because Virgo's bringing in more logic as well, and then Pisces is way more intuitive. So you've got these two opposites of logic, intuition, and it's finding the balance between the two and how you can use them to come to a place where you are moving forward in your most true and authentic expression. And often that is trusting, tuning into your inner wisdom and trusting this to unfold. And Virgo will keep us grounded in that way as well. Okay, and with that full moon in Pisces, super full moon, it can mean that there is heightened sensitivity. It could be heightened awareness, heightened intuition, heightened. So when that happens, it means we need to be really, really mindful of taking extra good care of ourselves. So this full moon, especially being an eclipse, it's about reflecting a little bit and taking that sacred pause to, before going out and making big plans, big changes, I can do it all type feeling. It's like we'll expend all this energy. We need to bring it back in. It's more about recalibrating at soul level, taking a bit of that, taking that sacred pause, really being mindful of the foods we're eating, seasonal foods that are going to really nourish this beautiful physical sacred body temple of ours, drinking more really good water. And my daughter was a great example of how her inner wisdom, her intuition is telling her that she really needs good water to drink right now. And also rest. We need to be resting more. Again, she does too. And grounding ourselves. So using that Virgo's message of being grounded, being in nature. And there's a big pull to cleanse and clear and detoxification, basically. So that could be with reducing certain foods or drinks, or it might be, less coffee or sugar or whatever it is. It could well be, which is probably almost all of us, a bit of a detox from digital technology devices, or being super mindful of when we use them, and particularly mindful in the evening before we go to bed. So that's not the last thing that our whole being has been exposed to, is constant scrolling and messaging and watching and absorbing information, too much. So yeah, detox is quite a big thing. So which is saying we're up leveling and really focusing on our health, our well-being, and that looking after that spiritual part of ourselves, nurturing that part, so that the intuition, that voice, can be heard. And it will be louder in this time, and you will hear it more when you find more time for stillness, for that sacred pause. So it's a wonderful time right now to be meditating. If you do meditate, and if you don't, maybe just start by small amounts and then increasing them. And if that's in the too hard basket right now, then taking quiet stillness breaks, without talking, without scrolling, just in that space of being rather than doing. So a bit more mindful in our choices, in our actions, in our words, where we're putting our focus, where we're putting our energy. So this is what this little period of time is encouraging us to do. There's so much information out there to learn more in-depth details about the lunar eclipse and what it means with all the different planets and conjunctions. There's a lot. It's really exciting, but I'm not well enough versed to share that, because I don't want to do it an injustice. But just know that with the moon in Pisces and the sun in Virgo, there's this opportunity for really bringing in this clarity of our intuition and moving forward and getting things done in a timely way. So giving yourself that little pause right now, like I said, in this little portal, in this moment. And then from that we can, just follow the breadcrumbs of those intuitive hits, basically. Like you'll get clarity of, or a confirmation on something, and a phone call or a conversation or a song on the radio. There'll be little messages, and you will just know that, I think this is for me, which is pretty cool. Creative downloads. In these times, it's like we can start to let go of some of the old stuff to create room and space for the new to come in, and trusting and believing what the new is, and that's very much that Piscean energy of trusting the unseen, because we can't, like I said, the dance between logic and intuition, and this Pisces energy will help us to be brave and dance in the magic a little bit more, trusting and believing. So I think that's where I get quite excited about these times, because I love being in that space. I'm often in that space, and when I have to try and articulate it to a more logical minded person, I'm just like, can't you just see without seeing, if that makes sense? Yeah, and I do a lot of Reiki, so I'm working with energy a lot, and everything is energy. Everything. When you think about it, or don't think too hard about it, it kind of just is. Even just being able to speak to you right now through Wi-Fi and different platforms and connections, and hello, there's a podcast, and it's amazing. It's amazing to me how it all works, but I don't need to know how it works. It just kind of does. And it's the same with the unseen energy in the other realms as well. It's the same thing. So yeah, be open to the magic. Believe. Yeah. So that's my musings for today, everyone. It probably went off on a little bit of a rambling tangent. Apologies for that. But I'm wishing you a truly beautiful full moon. Last night I could see her. She was beautiful, and I'm hoping it's not too cloudy tonight. We can see her again. And yeah, any questions, please reach out, or any of your own musings. I'd love to hear them. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the podcast, or leave a review, a rating, share if you feel inclined. Just helps with those good old algorithms. So people that like-minded people that might resonate with this content can find it with a bit more ease, rather than searching. Anyway, I'm wishing you a truly soul-filling day and week ahead, and that spring equinox episode will be coming out soon, I do promise you. And yeah, tap into the intuition and just see where the magic takes you.